Oh, I don't even need to shield myself because you're not here.
Oh, hooray!
Hooray! I can sneeze everywhere.
Fucking surreal, mate.
Yeah.
Very weird times. Weird times.
Yeah. You're looking at me now. That's weird.
Oh, my camera's up there, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then this camera's here, and then it's the vague... Yeah, I'm looking at the screen now. This is what you should see.
Yeah.
Yeah. You alright?
I'm good. Yeah. Does anything feel a bit like 28 days later to you?
The only thing that really hit me was this could go on for 12 months thing, which is like, that feels pretty 28 days later.
Yeah, let's all stay indoors for 12 months.
For the rest of the year.
Which isn't just started.
Yeah, it's not that big a change for me either, apart from now I've got...
Like, I was saying like the Vix, like this is great for like introverted people and antisocial people like me. Like, it works perfectly because it's like, oh no, I've got to not go out.
Yeah. Also, the lazy.
I can't meet up with people, and fuck.
For people not looking to get their lives together, everything's the same.
Perfect. I can
people
stay
try
inside
to sort themselves
and
out,
do my own stuff, and it's socially acceptable. For me to do it for a year.
Yeah, but like, you can't go to the gym. You can't go out very much.
Gutted.
The cinemas. The world's going to change, but it does seem really weird. Like, just cinemas not having any customers for a year. It's like, it's going to affect
like,
shit.
what do you do with those? What do you do with those companies? What do you do with those jobs?
Yeah. Well, I think the jobs thing is being... I think, like, the government's paying salaries of 25 grand.
Well, it's not fucking sustainable, whatever they're doing. They said, we'll pay the monthly wage, your monthly wage, up to 80%. We'll pay 80% of your monthly wage, up to 2.5 grand. If you're, like, quarantined, can't work, whatever. Which is
I thought it was, like, 25 grand a year or something. But yeah.
Like, that's a lot.
Yeah, but, like, that's going to help the majority of people. But, like, those big companies on those salaries, like, it's probably not going to help them very much, I guess.
And freelancers, fuck all. There's nothing.
Yeah. But fuck you, to be fair.
Yeah. So fuck me.
Yeah, if the world said fuck you, I kind of agree with it.
So it's a good job I've still got the whole Tim Allen gig. Otherwise, I would be fucked right now.
Yeah, but this is the kind of stuff that evokes change, isn't it? So
yeah.
I think this is going to be the interesting thing. Like, loads of comedians that I've seen on forums and stuff are like, well, all my gigs are cancelled, so what do I do now? And they're trying to do new stuff.
I will say, like, all the live streaming stuff's been really cool. I've watched a bunch. I'm watching one tonight where Will Varley's doing one. I watched like a Frank Turner live stream from his living room on Wednesday night, which was fun. It was the gigs that he was planning on doing, so he had his support acts there as well, and they did like a 2.5 hour show in his living room. It's like, and there's a bunch of people doing that. It's fucking interesting, man. Like, it seems like
music, it's
gonna push that kind of thing a bit more.
Yeah. Well, with music, it definitely works. Like, you know, it's just an unplugged session, but like really unplugged.
Yeah.
Like blackout, I guess.
Yeah,
powered down kind of thing.
It still sucks to not have that audience feedback, but I guess with music, it's not vital like it is with comedy.
Yeah, a Slipknot gig would be weird. Like a high energy gig would be strange in a living room.
Oh yeah,
but like acoustic sets and that will still work. I think that'll work really well. But like, comedy, you know, loads of any public space stuff, street performers, they're probably suffering. You know what I mean? Buskers, probably not getting as much. But
but if you haven't busked before and you want some practice, this is a good time to do it. Go outside. There's no one there.
Yeah, they say you're allowed to go outside. I was looking it up just before because there's not much really happened this week because everybody's confined to remain indoors. But, there was a thing. You can go outside and go places so long as you stay 2 meters away from someone. Yeah. Which is about 6 feet. So like, if you lie down, there's a triangle of safety that you can just, like... So you can still go to a gig, you just have to mosh in a more creative way.
Well, there's a shop in Sandbach where they've put these big red stickers on the floor. And if you're queuing up, you have to stand on one of these stickers. And someone's just taken a picture of it, and it's just a bunch of people, like, confused, like, standing on these red spots, like, just wondering what the hell's going on, waiting to pay for their shit. You're not allowed to go up to... You're not allowed to be, like, within a few meters of the cashier. So you have to go up, put your money on the desk, and then return to your spot. And then they deal with your money. And then, like, it's so fucking surreal.
Yeah. I haven't been out that much, to be fair.
No.
Although I went out, I had to get a monthly prescription for all my diseases. And I was expecting the pharmacy to be rammed and empty, because I was like, I've been a bit under the weather as well, so I need to get some Lemsip, just some like flu medicine.
Yeah.
And I was like, I thought, they'll be out of that. So, no, everything's fine. Everything's normal, and everyone's acting normal.
I think,
seems odd.
it depends where you go. Like,
Yeah.
the big supermarkets in our town, they have been ramsacked. But the little corner shop 5 minutes from my house, 2 minutes from the house, is fine. Bread, milk, all eggs, like all the stuff. I didn't look for toilet roll. If you're going to panic buy,
you go to the big one, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
More running space for panic.
I don't get the toilet roll thing.
I explained it last week, mate. You forgot. It's an iconic relic of religious sanctimony, is what it is. Because it's large. Yeah, no, it's the size of it and the amount of bulk you can buy. Your brain thinks that it's got symbolism because of its size, and there's not that many bigger things at supermarkets than toilet roll, I guess.
No.
Big number 24 on it. Yeah. So much.
Like Aldi still had frozen turkeys.
Oh,
left over from Christmas, I guess.
You can use that instead.
Those are big.
Toilet roll.
No one's hoarding turkeys.
Yeah, but it's only one, isn't it? Know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got more bang for your religious relics.
You want the Transformer version of religious relics, where you have lots of small ones that make up a big one.
Look, everyone needs paper mache hobbies, especially during times of mass closure of everything. Apparently.
Yeah.
Apart from, supermarkets, which feels look, it's still, everyone's going to get infected. It's still going to spread. They're just trying to limit the amount of exposure, which makes sense.
That's what I keep saying to people. Like, we had a night out planned with a group of people from work, and the response was, "Oh well, I'm not really bothered about getting a cold. Let's still do it." And I was just like, "It's not about you. Like, it's got nothing to do with you. Like, it's fine. Like, the majority of us will get it, and if we get it, or when we get it, or whatever, it won't really have a lot of effect on us. It's like a strong flu, but it's to stop it reaching the people who are more vulnerable."
But yeah, apparently I'm in a high risk bracket, which
oh, are you?
Yeah, well, because I'm diabetic.
I was wondering if you would be.
Well, I said last week that cancer people who suffer from cancer and diabetics are the highest.
Yeah.
At the time of last week, anyway. And I was saying you could argue that it's because it's affecting the elderly the most. Most of the elderly have those two problems, so it could just be something random. But apparently, asthma as well is a high thing, because if it stops, it creates loads of problems with your lungs.
Yeah,
asthmas are just one on top of that. And you can only stop breathing for a certain amount of time until it becomes annoying. So
yeah, there's a couple at work that have got asthma, and they're considering kind of taking the time off, and they've had to like shorten all the working hours from like a 13-hour day down to a 7-hour day. So we've still got enough staff to accommodate it. Yeah, it's weird times. It's really strange. I've got a friend with
Parkinson's who's been told to self-isolate completely for 12 weeks.
Yeah, we got a girl that's done that. Like,
didn't know Parkinson's would have been affected, but I guess so. Well, anything that's a problem.
I guess anything that stops you sort of having full control over your muscles, you'd have to assume that if you can't, if it because all you see with Parkinson's is the muscles that you see. So you see people's arms shaking or legs shaking and head and whatever. But I guess it must do the same to your diaphragm, to your lungs, and all that.
Yeah, loads of internal stuff. I guess it makes sense.
Although your heart's a muscle. Maybe that's
I'd assume it creates problems with that as well.
Yeah.
Well, your heart's already involuntarily spasming. I don't know whether that's a thing.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Medicine
loads of people
time.
affected. Yeah. But, yeah, so we've resorted to remote... We're trying it out anyway. I mean, would you be bothered if we met face-to-face today, for example?
I think Vix was a bit hesitant. I've been a bit more flippant about the whole thing.
Is that just because of me, or is it?
But, well, it's... it was.
I don't want Nick around anymore.
No, it's because you'd been under the weather recently, and so had she, and I think it's just
combined.
Yeah,
great eruption.
Yeah.
I've been a bit more flippant about it as well, but to be honest, it's more because I wasn't really sure about this medium for recording.
Oh yeah,
it's okay. It needs this is literally a prototype, really. So There's lots of stuff I'd improve.
Apart from the fact that I'm talking over you a lot more than I usually do, and I'm guessing that's just part of this. I'm finding it a bit easier than I was expecting to.
The video helps because we're videoing each other as well as the cameras. That helps a lot because then it still feels like you're conversing. But I mean, I talk to people online every day, all the time.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why I was hesitant. I think it's more doing it with strangers. It's definitely a different feel.
Yeah.
Different feel of conversation, but it's not necessarily a worse feel. It's just kind of different.
Yeah.
But I think doing it with a stranger is weird, but it could be something fun to do.
Yeah.
Like all these people, who aren't performing. There's loads of comedians that I've wanted to chat to that I've seen and liked and wanted to get to know that have got an online thing. But it'd be cool to chat to them. Be like, hi, we met once. How about we just try chatting and see if that works as a podcast?
Yeah.
Although there's been loads of warnings everywhere not to start podcasts under the quarantine because apparently everyone's expecting a massive flood of. I'm going to start a podcast now that I'm indoors for a year.
Yeah.
People are afraid of bad ones, I guess.
Yeah, lots of people picking up instruments and stuff like that, which is cool. It's a nice effect of it. Of like, well, I've got to find something to do that doesn't involve other people now.
Is this just because you did a guitar thing earlier in the week, didn't you?
Yeah, well, like that was kind of a battle of my own procrastinatory demons, kind of, because there was an acoustic night I was meant to be going to on the 17th, the Tuesday, and at like 3:00 that day they announced that they were closing their pubs
Lockdown.
for the time being. The government hadn't done it at that point, but they decided they were going to, because I think we'd already been put on curfew or what the fuck ever at that point.
Yeah.
I was like, I just felt that thing in my head that was just like, oh, it's not on. Oh, good. Now I don't have to go and do that. And then it was immediately like, well, why stop doing that? That's the whole point of doing this. So I was just like, you can fucking record something instead. You're not getting out of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of what that was.
Yeah, fair play. And is it because, like, last time you did that, you started to hate anybody with any kind of creative belief in themselves? Is that what spread that? Yeah, people picking up musical instruments and that's still good.
Yeah.
I reckon it's just, there's definitely an oversaturation of a lot of these different mediums, like podcasting and whatever gigging in your living room is, like recording yourself. There's definitely an oversaturation, but that doesn't mean that it's a bad thing.
No, not
just
at all.
Means that I think people have seen a lot of people do a lot of bad stuff and they don't like it, so they don't want more of it.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that as well. I've definitely seen some people's content and been like, I'm not a big fan of that.
Yeah.
Why are they doing more? Why not just improve what you have? But there's probably loads of people who have the same opinion about us.
Yeah.
It's just a question of taste, really.
Yeah.
What you like.
Yeah. I mean, I was listening to a talk that an interview that Frank Turner did, and he said he was talking about it in the context of guitar, and he said the acoustic guitar was like a great kind of democratic instrument because it was suddenly cheap for anybody in the 20s, for anybody to buy an instrument and play by themselves, and they didn't need anyone else because the guitar is like an orchestral thing, and like it's a perfect accompaniment to yourself, unlike playing like a fucking violin or a cello or like a brass instrument or something. And it opened up like the floodgates on people that could suddenly learn music. And I think it's the same with podcasting. Like there's no gatekeepers anymore, and there's no reason why people shouldn't feel like they can do it themselves. So like I think it's a good time for people who haven't kind of jumped on that train yet to be kind of discovering that, because there's still a lot of people like we're part of like the Facebook groups of podcasters, and there's constantly people asking for people to help them out with things that we kind of do instinctively. And it's a good time to be realizing that you can be self-reliant with this stuff.
I mean, I guess before it was kind of like the tuba, where you're like, there's not that many self-playing tubalists, or
tubists.
It's not, if you bring out a tuba around a campfire, people are just gonna why did you bring that up this mountain?
Would be incredible though.
It would be great, but it's not as romantic, I guess. Although with the right player, I think a tuba could be the most romantic instrument in the world. But and then
everybody,
then it's the happy tune, the happy tuba tune. I'll play while you make love in the tent.
Oh, when
Please
the
include
Saints
me.
go marching in.
Yeah, well, like, you know, you had to do like something you didn't really want to do in, I don't know, something like the BBC. You were given a show that wasn't the acoustic guitar that you wanted to play, but it was like, I don't know, Countdown, which is the tuba, and you're like, well, I guess I'll be the host of Countdown in my dream to become an acoustic guitar player or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, now that it's definitely open to everybody, same as the internet, you know, it's communication.
Yeah.
It's great you can chat to everybody, but you need to learn how to do it first.
Yeah,
and it
yeah,
just
yeah.
takes a while for all this vitriol to go through, and then it kind of happens.
Mm.
So yeah, I can't remember whether we've said the name of the disease because we're not allowed.
No,
But
you
I
get
don't care if saying it.
demonetised.
Yeah, which I thought
Which
about.
doesn't
and
really
I guess
mean anything to us because we don't make any money anyway.
Yeah, but I think it kind of makes sense. I guess I thought about it, and it was like, well, if someone like the BBC does a YouTube video, they're not going to care about the ad revenue. They're just going to be sending out a public service announcement. So if you want to talk about it, then yeah, you won't get any money for it.
Well, it was done
to
apparently to what's the opposite of incentivize? Incentivize.
Decentify?
Yeah, incentivize, decentivize, whatever. It was done to it was done to try and
Put
curtail
off people.
the amount of kind of bullshit coronavirus videos that were going around, like scaring people and whatever. So they were like, well, people are still going to make them, but we'll do what we can to battle them, including taking the money away from them. And the only way to do that was to make it a blanket thing, particularly now that YouTube's like sort of down to a skeleton crew and everything's on autopilot.
Yeah, I mean, I think I kind of agree with it the more I think about it. It's because people would have made loads of clickbaity videos promoting loads of crap. I mean, I'm on the BBC News website, and there's a bunch of fake health advice apparently related to the disease, including just eat loads of garlic. If you eat loads of garlic, you'll be fine.
Yeah. And,
it's like, garlic's great, but not necessarily the cure for everything, I guess.
You should be eating a lot of garlic now anyway, just because you don't have to be around people. So why not?
It goes with your dress code now. Now that you don't have one, you can eat garlic. I never got that, to be fair. I probably stank a lot of the time, but I worked at a fishmonger's when I was a teenager, and working with smoked haddock was like, yeah, that was intense.
It's strong.
But I was in a relationship at the time, and it was just like, well, when you're 16, hormones overpower smoked haddock.
Yeah.
So you can kind of do whatever. But yeah, I never really saw it as a problem. Although I read recently that people who have like strong smelling feet apparently eat cheese, and apparently it comes out through those sweat glands. Yeah. So maybe smelly feet is a dietary thing as well. I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, it goes both ways as well. So they did a test.
If you eat your feet, your hands smell like cheese.
They did a test with garlic, and they put garlic in people's shoes, and within a few hours you could smell it on their breath.
I love garlic, so I don't know whether it's just I haven't really seen the garlic thing. But yeah, it's always I don't know. Smell's a really interesting thing. I've never found anyone to smell like incredibly negative because they ate a sandwich. Although people who eat tuna smell weird.
On the whole?
Yeah, just on the whole.
Oh.
They smell strange. Do you eat tuna?
Yeah.
That's probably why then.
Oh.
In other myths, apparently, is there's a miracle mineral being sold by a YouTuber which wipes out coronavirus. It's a type of bleach. So if you drink this bleach, all of your coronavirus goes away.
Well, I'm sure it does.
Not wrong?
No. You'll be dead.
Yeah.
But
the FDA has said it's not aware of any research showing that these products are safe or effective for treating anything. Anything!
Anything.
Drink this fucking bleach.
They're good for disinfecting, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, there's a warning against those who've tried to make homemade hand sanitizer. Have you had any problems?
No, because the stuff didn't come.
Oh yeah, because you could. I thought about it after editing that. You could probably just ask them to resend it if it got lost in the post. But
I did.
Uphill battle.
But I've had to take.
They got lost again.
I've had to take it up with eBay.
Fight eBay.
Yeah, the twats that sold it to me are just ignoring me.
Yeah, I think. They're saying that it's difficult to do, so don't do it. I don't know. Okay. Don't drink silver either.
Oh, drink silver. Partially
drinkable
because
silver.
You'll burn your fucking tongue out.
No one saw Game of Thrones, although I think that was gold, wasn't it? I think, from memory. But yeah, drinkable silver. Don't drink silver unless you're... Well, it'll kill all the werewolves.
Great.
It's a plus. You know, could be an effective treatment, but...
Werewolf test.
Yeah. While we're at this whole disease spreading thing, why not kill all the supernatural?
Yeah.
One remedy was drink water every 15 minutes. Never sleep. No sleep. No sleep will help. Or does have someone shoving water in your face when you're unconscious? That'd be fine. Drink water, sure. Every 15 minutes? I don't know. Don't eat ice cream.
Why?
That's coronavirus.
What?
If you eat ice cream, then hang on. Let's
just to be clear, this is bullshit health advice, or is this?
No.
Is this real?
Heat and avoiding ice cream. Yeah, this is a myth. Oh, so avoiding ice cream is a myth. So you can eat ice cream.
Thank fuck.
So there was some people saying that if you eat ice cream, then you'll get much worse. Drinking hot water and exposure to the sun could kill the virus, and avoid ice cream. I'm on board for the first part. It kind of sounds like if you drink hot water and exposure to the sun, that could help.
Right.
Hot water's a weird one. I think it's a diuretic. It's kind of like irrelevant for you.
Oh, really?
Because when you boil it, all the nutrients, that's why if you boil broccoli, it's kind of pointless, and you should reevaluate your life. You have to all the nutrients come out of it. So if you boil it, everything just evaporates, and then you're drinking emptiness.
There's still stuff in it, not not the water. Because I used to boil water to top up my fish tank. But you boil it, and let it cool.
Oh, these fish have gotten really boring. Liven up, fish! Dance, the fish, dance!
You'd boil it and then and let it cool, but it's because it takes all the minerals. It takes the chlorine and the fluoride out of it. Yeah.
But yeah, so I kind of understand. Maybe there was a thing about that and exposure to the sun, but just avoid ice cream. I wonder if it goes in to say. Ice cream and other cold foods can help prevent the spread of disease, which is untrue.
Well, yeah.
I think just eat ice cream and you'll be fine, unless you're diabetic. Maybe that's the thing. They're worried that people who eat ice cream will become diabetic and therefore become high-risk cases. You never know.
Maybe. Yeah.
But those are the myths. There are some things that you should do to prevent from catching and spreading the virus, which I'm sure we're all well aware of.
Yeah.
Wash your hands is a big one. People weren't washing their hands before.
Yeah, the amount of people that have complained about that, and it's just like, what? Well, why weren't you doing it anyway?
Just wash your hands. Is it a big problem if you got given a terminal illness and someone said you just have to wash your hands for a bit? Would you mind?
No,
I think you'd be fine.
So, all right. So no chemo, no. Nothing. Just wash your hands. Fuck this bullshit.
Stop coughing in the faces of others.
Well, yeah. What do you mean stop? Why did you start?
Well, the BBC News again is saying you have to catch your coughs and sneezes with disposable tissues.
Yep.
I just running around down the street. That's because apparently I got told it was this thing was it was meant to be contact virus, then it was in the air, but apparently it's in the air through liquid from coughing.
Yeah, so it's in
I thought it would have been airborne from coughing. That's my assumption, but apparently it's the liquid. The liquid stays in the air.
It's the vapor. When you go outside on a cold day and there's steam.
Yeah, or when you boil a fish tank.
Yeah, or when you boil a fish tank. Well, that steam's always there. It's just that it doesn't show unless it's warmer than the outside. So you're always breathing out vapor.
But you would have thought that the liquid would be heavy enough to fall, whereas the air would stay around. But then the air would be blown away by the wind.
Yeah.
Who was the Greek god of wind? Was there a Greek god of wind?
I don't
think
know.
so. Must have been.
Farticus.
There's one for the sea. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's what happens when we're not together. You don't have the fear of my judgment.
It is weird. Distance. I've sort of we've circumvented you criticizing everything in my house. This
is true.
We've lost the ritual.
The moon's died.
Oh yeah, there's no moon.
There is no moon.
No.
Yeah, I can't see enough to ridicule. So you're safe briefly, apart from I think you're wearing a V-neck, what is it called, shirt?
It's a polo.
With a collar. Polo,
No,
there you go.
It's buttons. It's got buttons.
No.
You're wearing a V-neck.
I am.
Yeah.
Other
Anyway.
things, when you've coughed and sneezed into the air and caught it with tissues, you should then throw those tissues away. That's tip number 3.
Yeah.
Before, people were coughing in them and then just handing them out to children.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Giving it to everybody. If you don't have a tissue, use your arm.
Yeah,
Kinda
coughing
makes sense.
into your elbow, that thing.
Yeah. I don't know why it has to be your elbow, but that's what everyone's advice, because of the shape.
Yeah.
It's the antivirus shape.
Well, yeah, I guess because you're not gonna. There's not really a lot of risk of you touching people with the inside of your arm as opposed to your hand.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but it's still, you wash your hands. I don't know. Yeah, can't sneeze into your sleeves or your elbows. Stop touching your eyes. Stop it.
I think the face touching thing is just weird. I don't know how you stop yourself touching your face. I mean, I get it. Maybe it's a discipline thing. I don't know, but I've always got like itches and shit like that. Like, what are you meant to do?
If you're in the physical presence of somebody, I kind of get it. Because if you got it on your hands, it might be less likely to infect you than if it went into your eyes. But if you're just on your own anyway, touch your face all you want, mate.
Yeah.
You don't tell me what to do.
Don't do it in public. Maybe it's because like you're catching the stuff in the air and then kind of like ramming it into your eyes.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Shoveling it in. And the tip number 6 is forget the sick. So just don't talk to them, don't see them. Don't just avoid contact with people who are
You can catch
unwell.
coronavirus over the phone. You heard it here first.
Yeah. Well, I saw like old folks' homes were closed, I think in America. And so, like, a guy went to see his dad there and just sat outside the glass door with a phone and chatted. Yeah. There's ways to get around it.
Yeah.
It's just don't touch him in the eyes, I guess.
No, we had that. Like, because Vic's had a cold last week before, I can't remember. Last time you were here. Yeah. But her parents were going on holiday, like, somewhere. And she wanted to see him before they went. So her mum came over and sat in the conservatory, and Vic sat in the kitchen, and they talked through the window with like the door closed. It was like being in prison. It was really weird.
Hi, Mum.
Yeah.
How's it going? Fucking Morgan Freeman's around here somewhere, putting a poster up and just the hole behind. But yeah, it seems. But again, it's nothing that really ridiculously different. And obviously, you still have to go to the supermarket, so that's always going to be a thing. There're never going to be enough delivery drivers for everyone in the country, so they're just kind of trying to limit the exposure rather than, everyone gets it all the time. Yeah. I think when you get it, and you survive it, you're immune. So it's just a medical test.
Still
sucks.
There's a it's not a theory, it's an actual thing, and I can't remember what it's called, but it's a thing of it's a way of stopping viruses, which is, well, everybody's had it except this guy, so he can be amongst everybody, and it doesn't matter. There's a I can't remember what the term is. I think it's something with.
It was like herd immunity, I think.
Yeah,
that
was it. So eventually the virus stops on its own because it can't find anyone to spread to.
Oh. Sounds like my life. That's why I'm still single. Fucking herd immunity's keeping me single. Fuck it up. So, some more BBC notes about what to do with social distancing for those who want to be socially distant. Work from home whenever possible. Loads of people do. I think it's quite cool, to be fair. I think I'm really interested to see all the different jobs that are going to pop up after the year of isolation.
Well, that's the thing that I think is going to change a lot. Like, I think there's going to be a lot of companies that are going to kind of realise the efficiency of people working at home. And that, like, the cost
when they're not dying,
as well.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, you don't have to pay for office space. There's like places like London where like the real estate is so expensive. You can have smaller offices if more people work from home.
Yeah,
so it's going to be more and more interesting. But then I guess the power giants move from landlords to BT or all these like online internet providers.
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting.
But also, then that will be that would put a massive encouragement to improve the infrastructure of stuff like that. Which would be good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the more people do it, I mean, it's a weird thing. I've done it for a while now. I think like 5 years I've worked from home because of the job that I do, which it is strange. It's weird Christmas parties.
It's like this.
Yeah, it's based. Well, even without this, you just sat there. It's like I think I better stop work. You forget what time it is and everything. Yeah. But it is definitely the way forward in terms of technology where you're going to go. So loads of new. I mean, like chefs working from home. Drones are a thing. Like you realise, the Amazon was criticised before for using drones to deliver parcels.
Yeah.
Imagine if a chef can prepare a meal via drone.
Yeah.
You know, just give a drone knives.
Yeah.
Hot oil. And its own artificial intelligence and see where it goes. Everything will be fine.
That's another thing. All these restaurants that are closing, they're trying to keep the doors open by offering a takeout service. So there's like all these just weird takeouts of stuff that you wouldn't normally be able to get.
Yeah, and it will expect because I mean, where I live is just far enough outside of I think Stoke's a city.
Stoke's weird.
I'm just outside of the barrier, so like all the Deliveroo stuff doesn't come to me, which is not a problem. But it's interesting to see when like everybody's like, yeah, just everybody, we'll just drive further distances because the customers are that in demand.
Yeah,
just be like, yeah, we'll just send you whatever we need. There's another point: avoid all unnecessary travel. I saw this that I said before. You have to keep 2 meters away from somebody.
Yeah,
they were giving this advice on trains.
Oh, like, how do you do that?
It's like, I don't know, 20 people to a train.
Yeah.
Like 2 meters is like a whole booth, and more than that. Yeah. It's like the width of a thing, so you could just zigzag, I guess.
Well, I think they did it with planes. They had I might be wrong, but I think they had to put on more planes so they weren't filling all the seats. But it seems backwards to me anyway, because everything you breathe out in a plane gets recycled and sent into the bloke next to you anyway. Gets
pushed into your eyes.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's a horrible environment for people getting sick.
Mm. Yeah,
and that was the problem with cruise ships as well. They just fucking left those fuckers there.
the pilot. Captain has jumped overboard.
Yeah.
You are the captain now.
Yeah, they're like, oh well, a lot of you have got it, so you can just stay in the sea.
Yeah. There's a Greek god for that.
Yeah.
He'll help you. Poseidon, you're the captain now. The other one was stay away from crowded places, which everyone's ignoring at the moment because everyone's apparently panic buying, which I didn't really believe until I saw some actual footage.
It's crazy.
I think it was Birmingham, like I think it was a Tesco or something was absolutely rammed with people.
Yeah.
But I haven't really seen it. I mean, my local corner shop has been affected a little bit, but only in so much as somebody beat me to all the fizzy drinks. They didn't have any left, and everything else seemed kind of fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we all the stuff that we normally buy seemed to be in, apart from like the toilet rolls and soap and stuff like that. I know they were like low on bread and milk, but like I feel like people just don't cook.
Yeah,
that's all I can think is like because you're buying all these preserves. It's like we bought a load of fresh stuff and then made stuff and froze it.
Yeah.
Like I just think people don't cook. You're out of stuff. They're out of stuff you can cook in a pinch. So like ready meals and beans and stuff. And
pasta. It's just panicking. I mean, the idea of it being 12 months is pretty insane.
Yeah.
Apparently, I think they're trying to aim for 6 months. So between 6 and 12 is when everything's going to be on average.
Yeah.
Kind of locked down. So I can imagine that something like loo roll will become more rare as time goes on.
Yeah.
So I guess people just panic buying everything and then freezing everything and then try to freeze the cans. Probably, big. Replace all those parents who've had like kids go to uni and leave the nest and they're all like solemn about it have now just replaced their children's rooms with tins of beans.
Yeah.
This will keep us through.
No, can't come back. We've got beans now.
Beans won't get sick. Tip number 4 on how to do social distancing is avoid gatherings, avoid friends, and avoid families.
Hey, we're nailing it.
I'm just too comfortable where I am at the moment. Like, where I live has been built and designed for my comfort and my relaxation.
Yeah.
So, like, my bed is as tall as I am.
Yeah.
Or as long as I am tall, so I actually fit on it. It's like a really nice bed. So like anywhere I sleep anywhere else, I'm just like, this is bad. And especially if like I need to remain healthy, sleep is healthy.
Yeah.
You know, my dog's more familiar with this around here. I can still walk my dog on this like national park that I can get to quite easily. So it's like everything's kind of set up for me here. I don't need to. If I went anywhere else, I'd be more likely to be sick.
Yeah. People are just really fucking stupid. Like they closed all the schools. When was that? Friday. And with the idea of keeping people kind of like away from each other, and it's like everyone go back to your homes and we'll deal with it. We'll deal with it that way. And a load of people like were still like gathering and going out to the fucking beach. It's like, don't you understand like why they sent you home? Like, well, it was to stop you being together.
Yeah.
And now you've all gone with people who you've never met. Like, and you're just making it worse. Oh, well, now that we're all off, we could all go to the beach.
Well, sunshine and just don't eat the ice cream.
Yeah.
You know, eat garlic instead of ice cream and you'll be fine. Ice cream. Well, they're closing the school things is weird because, like, it really fucked over a lot of people. And when it happened, I was like, well, there needs to be some kind of daycare for children so the parents can still go to work if they are able to, right?
Well, that was always the argument against
nurses, and researchers, yeah.
Well, for doctors and nurses and essential carers and stuff like that, their kids still go to school.
Yeah, that's the thing. When it happened, it was like, well, there needs to be another kind of building that's open during the day that allows the caring for of children, which is essentially just a school. But they're just giving it to only, I think they're called key workers or something, which extends as far as people I know who like work in call centers for food companies. Yeah. Who like the food company supplies people who need food, like care homes and delivery of foods to people. That's still seen as an essential job. So they're still being cared for. But the amount of people whose just like lives would be ruined now, they have to spend the days with their children. It's crazy, right? Yeah, well, like if you've got a night job, you can't you can't do that anymore. No. I mean, all 0-hour contracts people are fucked. Yeah, when they were fucked before, but they didn't take the 0-hour contracts because they were stupid. They took it because that was the job that they could get. Yeah, I've had 0-hour contracts before, and in my case, it was you make more money on a 0-hour contract than you would on a regular contract. So it was like I'd rather take that and just earn money on top from tips and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's not like everyone in the service industry and anyone in 0-hour contract is going to be screwed. Apparently, self-employed people, like we said before, they're pretty screwed. You can get some money, but nowhere near the amount of money that you would if you worked for Greg's.
You can get statutory sick pay, which is like £90 a week.
Yeah, yeah. Which, you know, every little helps. But if you're definitely on hiatus, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to be able to push, you know, your sales or anything on £94 a week. No. So it's or do any sales at all if you're in certain industries. So that kind of sucks. On to happier news. What can you do when you're social distancing? You can see family and friends if it's essential. I thought it said avoid gatherings with friends and families and avoid the sick. But also, you can if you need to.
That's the thing. Like that's fucking dumb because now you're leaving it to people to decide what's essential.
Yeah. Did you hear the insurance stuff that was going on? I think with the WWE, that was a big thing.
Oh yeah, that was massive. There was threat of like cancelling WrestleMania, which is in like 2 weeks time, something like that, for the first time ever. And they've kind of committed to doing it in empty buildings with like no crowd. Yeah. It's going to be fucking weird.
But it was a game of chicken, and this was going on all over the place. Yeah. That if WWE cancelled the event, then they would lose a bunch of money. Yeah, and they want to put on the event. But if the government cancelled WWE, Steve Austin would kill everybody. Or something like that would happen. So the insurance companies would then pay for WWE for their losses.
Yeah. So they would get a full payout if the state forced them to cancel it. with a less payout if they cancelled it themselves. But the same was in reverse for the state. So the state was insured against it as well. So they didn't want to cancel it either. So, but at the end of the day, they're the ones that would have to pull the trigger. Like WWE's under no obligation to do it.
Yeah, there's a moral decision that needs to be made.
Yeah.
Should we look towards the high-ranking government officials or WWE?
Yeah.
I mean, you're allowed to hit each other with chairs. That's a plus, right? You're able to jump from 2 stories onto somebody's back.
Yeah.
Not the worst thing in the world.
No.
You know, could be a good moral standing.
Yeah.
You can walk your dog. You're allowed to walk your dog.
That's good.
That's a concern thing I've been looking into, actually, is there was a high threat thing about, like, oh, if you get coronavirus, your dog will get coronavirus.
What?
And, like, what you need to do. I don't know what the canine effects are, but I'm looking into them later, because apparently it's probably... I mean, I think being in Stoke means we're more likely to contract it anyway, because this is where we're storing it, you know? This is where everyone's being kept who has corona, isn't it? I think, last time I checked. Just like... to Staffordshire somewhere, they were like, let's put all the virus over there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Stoke's pretty much a big warehouse, so it makes sense.
Yeah. And I think just like it's kind of quiet in the middle of the country as well. So it's like, we'll just put all the disease here, so we might be more likely to get it. But yeah, there's lots of people I know who have contracted it or are being put into isolation, so it's probably going to make its way round me anyway.
Yeah. So
you're going to have to see if it does affect the dog. I guess you can remain within 2 meters of your dog, because people are doing that with their families as well, aren't they?
How the fuck do you explain to your dog to stay 2 meters away from you?
Don't go play with anybody. But I want to. If you've got number 3 is you can provide essential care for elderly relatives and neighbours if you have no symptoms. I don't understand that, because if you've got no symptoms, you might develop them within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I guess again, it's not trying to stop the spread. It's trying to slow the spread.
Yeah.
Just to make it more manageable, I guess, when you think about that. And you can go to the shops to buy food. So
that's good.
That's fine. You're not allowed to shake hands. You're not allowed to hug people or kiss people unless you live together. So So me and my housemate are going to get really intimate, apparently. Oh, no, you don't have to. It's just... No, hang on. Yeah, you can't handshake, you can't hug, and you can't kiss unless you live together.
Right.
So if you live together, it's fine. Although I saw a thing telling people to stop having sex.
Really?
Like, yeah, in the case of... a couple, if you don't live in the same building and one of you might be suspect.
Oh, right, okay.
Which kind of goes without saying.
Yeah.
If you live together, you're going to get it regardless of whether you have sex or not, I think, pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's like, just don't spread it sexually if you live in different houses. It's a really weird marriage-centric... Get married! In the next year, you can only have sex if you live together. Well, that's really stepped up the fire beneath people's feet.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, fuck it. Let's get married. I can't do this anymore.
You can't go to restaurants, bars, or parties.
Anymore? Because they're all closed. Closed to parties.
Well, but there's still some open, I think. I think Wetherspoons are still open, to be fair.
Are they?
I think so. I think that's what I read, is that Wetherspoon stuff is staying open in defiance.
How?
I might just be... I think it's there.
They're going to get fucking panned. Wasn't it government mandated for every bar and place to close on Friday night?
Can't have parties, no more birthday parties.
Oh, no.
Not that, banned by the government. No more cake.
Yeah.
I like the way this one's phrased. Children may have to avoid grandparents for a while. It's the BBC, ladies and gentlemen. Children, stay away from your grandparents just for a bit. I mean, I can still see my grandparents, apparently, but children can't.
They're diseased.
You're going to kill them. I don't know. I'm assuming that's to protect the grandparents.
I would hope so. Yeah, because like there's not a lot. Well, the kid stuff. I don't know if there's a lot of them that are testing positive for it or whatever. But I think they're not showing symptoms in kids. Generally, people below the age of 20 have all been fine unless they've got like serious underlying stuff. Oh, I've lost.
That's
you.
Weird.
Oh, there you are.
Oh, I'm here. That's weird that children don't exhibit symptoms. That kind of feels like a government-built lizard disease, does it not?
A little bit.
We'll just kill off generation whatever we are. Yeah. Although I think we're still a bit older, so what? I think we're X. No. We're millennials, technically, if some people believe
I think
it.
we're millennials.
And then people after that as well. Just kill anyone over 20. All right.
Yeah.
Weird game show. Get in touch and isolate yourself. Okay.
Sorry, I missed that one.
Keep in touch with other people.
Oh, right.
I think that means basically continue to do podcasts.
Okay.
If you're unwell, isolate yourself and your family.
Great.
No, it's nothing too drastic. It's just, it has to be done.
Yeah.
You can't really deny it. I think the death rose by another 1,000 this week.
This death toll thing is getting fucking irritating, man. Because it's like, it's still...
Bloody dead.
Well, as in, it's not... It's not... they're making everyone think it's really high or severe and whatnot, but it's like, it's actually really low. I think it's like 2,500 at the minute. Normally the flu season takes out about 8,000 people, they said, and they're expecting this. They said a good figure for this death toll would be about 20,000. So, which is like, okay, that's twice as serious as the flu, but it's still only twice as serious as the flu. You know what I mean? Like it's not like Ebola.
But the difference, I think, is that those flu figures are probably taken over the course of an entire year.
Yeah.
Whereas I think last I saw
they
4
said
grand.
within a season. Within the
And
flu
a season would be a quarter, right? Well, a flu season.
Yeah, whatever
flu
that is,
season
like
be?
I don't know,
Say it's
October
3
to
months
January,
for a
October
season
to
or something.
February, whatever.
Yeah. But
yeah.
like, there is some really weird stuff. Like, crematoriums have been overloaded so much so that they're just throwing people in the sea. I think there was. I need to look that up because it's half true, right? I think in Italy, crematoriums they haven't got the space for people anymore, even though the people are dust. No more room for dust, so they're having to export the dead, basically.
Jesus,
either out of the country or out of the cities or whatever.
We export rubbish. We export recycling and whatnot.
Sure. I mean, the dead could be considered rubbish, I guess. They're not doing much, I guess.
Well, I mean, yeah.
See if I can quickly find Italy crematorium cost. Well, that's a weird Google quick search. I wonder how much it would... If I was going to be cremated, I'd like to go to Italy first.
Yeah.
So,
I want to see Pisa.
Yeah.
I'm dead.
Agree to that. Crematorium overwhelmed as Italy's death toll overtakes China. It's a weird World Cup event. How many of you died?
Yeah.
I've died 4,000.
Yeah.
China died 3,245 times. Italy died 3,405 times.
Yeah.
But
it's the way they're framing stuff, man. Like I was reading headlines on BBC the other day, and they said government closing school as death toll hits 140 or something like that, as though the closure of the schools had anything to do with the number of people that had died. Like it hasn't. It's a measure to stop people getting sick. It had they're just insistent on keep pumping into you and telling you all these people are dead. Look at how many people have died, and now the weather. Like it doesn't make sense to keep giving people these figures and numbers. People only care because you're telling them, and like they don't care in a that's interesting kind of way. You're making people panic.
Well, I think you've also got to make people take self-isolation seriously. Because
now people are self-isolating, so all they do all day is watch the news. And they're just getting more and more of it pumped into them. Like I think the media is going to have a lot to fucking answer for by the time all this shit's over. Like unnecessarily scaring people.
If they were more nonchalant about it, yes, they are just reporting numbers, but reporting
with no
them
context
so frequently.
Nothing, no context, nothing. Like this many people have died. There's no kind of blanket reason as to why, as to how many of them had underlying health concerns, as to any complications or anything like that. But just look at all the dead people. Like it doesn't mean anything, but it's scaring people.
But I think I reckon people do need to be scared a little bit, maybe not as much as
I am looking at it from the context of someone that's quite sensible, I guess. Like, I'm not, like, as in, I'm, if they tell me not to go to the pub, I'm not going to try and go to the pub. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know that there were still a lot of people that were told to stay indoors or whatever while the pubs were still open, and they were still like, no, fuck it, I'm not going to get sick, and they still went out.
I think Boris Johnson's dad was one of them. He was on some morning show, and I only saw like a little clip. It's like, well, I'm going down the pub. It's like, but you can't.
Yeah.
No, he said I shouldn't.
Yeah.
Okay. Have fun. But, like, take something like us, right? I mean, I would have been perfectly happy to come round and record at yours, and you said you're quite flippant about it. I reckon that our level of seriousness probably needed to be taken up a notch, just to kind of be like, it's something that you should, if we do completely self-isolate for 1 year, then it means we don't have to do it for another year after that, I guess.
Maybe, but for someone like me, like, that's, like, I understand that we need to be isolated, but seeing that kind of news is just going to piss me off. Like, it's not going to make me, it's not going to scare me.
Oh, for God's sake.
Yeah.
All these people died. Well, the interesting ones are when, I think the death rate keeps on doubling. That's what I keep on seeing. It's like, oh, the death rate in the UK doubled yesterday. So there's more people died yesterday than twice as many as ever before, or something like that. And it's just like, well,
again,
that's
like,
to get notice.
There's no context. You need context. Like, you can't just give people these facts and figures and not tell them what they mean.
So if the context, let's say that, I'm assuming when you're saying without context, you're meaning that it's because it was people who were vulnerable, they died. Is that the context that's needed?
Yeah. So you've got perfectly kind of like perfectly healthy people with no underlying health concerns or anything like that, walking around with face masks and gloves, terrified of seeing people, terrified of touching things, and just in this weird state of like, I don't know what's going on or what I'm meant to do, but I'm afraid everyone's going to kill me. Like, and I think they have a responsibility to tell people, like, to tell people that, okay, maybe it can be serious, but also that you need to kind of, it's okay to calm down. Like, it's possible to fucking die from stress. You know what I mean? Like, people can have heart attacks and all kinds of shit.
Just doing a more calming voice about the death toll.
Yeah.
The death toll's rising by a couple of million today. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
You know, you might get hit by a car. You won't, because everyone's indoors. But, you know, you might fall over the road if you go outside.
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, like,
I'm not sure.
If you, so you can tell people they made a big deal about telling people, like, oh, the first infant, like the first newborn has been found with it, but there was much less reporting over the fact that newborn got over it. Which I think is, but I think it's really important to fucking tell people that the most vulnerable, like, state that you could ever possibly be in got in it and got past it. Why?
I thought newborns were stronger. That's why we put them into the elderly, right?
Perceived. Like, it's they're perceived as vulnerable.
Yeah. When I say put newborns into the elderly, I mean that weird fetal injections that you get. Can't remember what they're called.
Stem cells.
Why are we stopping this? Yeah, stem cell research.
Yeah.
You take a baby, put it in a syringe, and give it to someone else. That's why abortion's legal. But I don't know. I reckon you can't. I don't know. I guess it depends how responsible you feel that the media outlets should be to people reacting in certain ways, but they're kind of interlinked, aren't they? Because they're going to react, they're going to report the most clickbaity way they possibly can, which they're going to report things and how people want them to report them, and if people want to be panicked, then the news outlets are going to make them panicked, I guess. Yeah,
I mean, you would hope that...
Let's put it this way, it would be really weird if they weren't saying anything.
It would.
And people would just die. Dying. So somewhere between that and this, I guess, is what we're saying.
I would have hoped that they would have had some kind of moral accountability and been like, okay, well, now is the time to drop all this bullshit and just be sensible about it and tell people exactly what's going on and why, as opposed to sensationalizing everything. Like, it seems like a good time to stop that shit.
Yeah, I guess I haven't watched that much news, to be fair. I haven't seen any, like, crazy... I mean, I'm sure American news are going insane.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Is Good Morning Britain, is that still a show? That Piers Morgan, isn't it? Are they going mental?
I don't know, to be honest. Like, most of my experience of it has just been through the BBC, like constantly buzzing me on my phone. Like, I swear, like every hour there's another coronavirus update, and it's like, dude, it's been a week and I'm already exhausted. Like, and you think you're going to do this?
Garlic.
Think you're going to do this for a year? Like, you gotta get sensible at some point.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting what they do.
Yeah,
it's going to be weird to see how it goes. I mean, it'd be nice if some news articles like ever came up again, rather than trying to only talk about this. Oh, there was one news article actually.
What else do you do? Because the news reporters can't leave.
Yeah. Well, there was one news report. I've covered it before. I still find the phrasing a bit funny, and I think it's intended not to be as funny. But a woman fell from a bridge in Stoke.
Okay.
Just fell off a bridge. I think she jumped because there was a fence on that bridge.
Oh,
but people don't like saying yeah. But people don't like reporting it as attempted suicide now.
No,
they just want to report it as, well, technically she fell. I mean, sure.
Yeah.
I guess. I'm not denying that she went from, a certain point on a y-axis to the lowest point on the y-axis.
Well, yeah, at one point she was falling.
Brief.
Yeah.
Not the main part. I think the bigger part was when she jumped.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So there's some light at the end of the tunnel.
But, yeah.
Laugh away. So it's better to laugh at suicide, I think.
Yeah.
So long as, I don't know. Yeah. If I I'm not going to commit suicide, but if I were to, I like to think people would laugh. Do it to make a point. It's a big dramatic moment.
Yeah.
An audience member sent something in, which was a group of police officers in India attempted to go on a joyride with a car they seized from somebody, but the guy who owned it locked it remotely, sealing them inside for 3 hours. So someone got their car seized, confiscated for whatever reason.
Right.
And when the police seize it, they're meant to store it in a seizure lot or something until you get it back. But some police officers decided to go on a joyride because apparently it was quite a nice car. But it was so nice it had a remote feature where the owner could just control it remotely.
Oh.
So he just locked all the doors, turned off the engine. Just 3 police officers stuck in a car.
Yeah.
Just they were there
while they
3
were
hours.
Yeah. Just do it while they were heading towards the ramp over a canyon.
What's going to happen now? Yeah. But yeah, not much else going on really.
No.
So I think, to be honest, if I wasn't able to work, then I'd probably be I'd like to think, as I always do, that I'd be doing something really productive.
I've been playing guitar non-stop. Like, it's just been constant. My fucking fingers are dead.
Yeah.
But it's been good. It's been really productive as far as that side of things go. Like, just fucking smashing through barriers left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
And it's
definitely a good time, especially even if it's for like a long period of time, just to actually look into yourself and actually do stuff. It's a good thing that I'm able to keep on doing what I've been doing for a very long time and just stay working and stuff.
Yeah.
But there's a weird part of me that's like, it would be quite cool to be like, there's this whole fantasy about, going to a remote island for a year and coming back. That's essentially what you're doing here.
Yeah.
If
I had all the time in the world with no consequence, what would I do with it? Yeah.
So like, it's definitely a lot of stuff you can improve upon yourself. Even if you are still working, to be fair, instead of going out in the evenings or whatever, you can actually dedicate some time to self-improve.
Yeah.
Like, I think you could easily shoot a short film inside, write some stuff.
Yeah,
you can read up on stuff, learn things.
Yeah.
It's just, you can't... It's just, your time has become more independent, I guess.
Yeah.
There's no more, Gary's had a meltdown, now we need to go down and help him. Or like, their relationship's over, so we need to go out for drinks. It's like, no, their relationship's over, and now he will die literally alone.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
it's got to leave him to it.
Yeah, so it's a cool time for, like, even if you don't want to do stuff with yourself, like kind of exploring the limits of online collaboration. with stuff. Like it's really interesting to see. I'm talking from the context of music, I guess, but there's plenty of other stuff that you could do as well, and just kind of I've seen people making like loads of like multi-track recordings of each other on Skype and putting songs together and stuff. Like it's really cool to see just to see the way that people are dealing with it.
Yeah. I mean, there'll eventually come a day where, like, the government will say, "Okay, now everyone's allowed outside again."
Yeah,
and there's people. It'll be a newfound appreciation for society, I guess.
Yeah.
Either that, or everyone will go out and kill everybody.
Yeah,
because they got into a mindless, isolationist, loneliness rage.
Yeah, well, like think of it like prison. Like if you've been locked, you're locked in your cell for ages, and then they just open all the doors.
I'm sure everyone's been great. That story ended perfectly every time. Wasn't anything terrible.
No.
But yeah, it's an interesting to witness, I guess. It's going to be an interesting thing to perceive and see what goes along with it.
I've got no scum, but I pulled a load of fucking stupid headlines that I'd found. I don't have a bit for this. I was going to make one, but I've got no way to play it anyway, so fuck it.
I had that same problem.
The leader of Belarus has proposed tractor therapy to get over coronavirus.
Get run over by a tractor.
No, like everybody go into a village, get in a tractor and plough some fields. He says the tractor will heal everyone, the fields will heal everyone.
Right.
I guess it's like, well, you're in a booth in a field in the middle of nowhere, so get some work done.
I read there's loads of country and rural villages telling people to fuck off. Like, loads of people are trying to go to, like, remote villages in Scotland and
they're not fucking remote if everyone goes there.
Local town is just saying, can you please stop visiting us? Like, you'll give us your diseases, you pricks.
We were safe until you got here.
So it seems strange that, Belarus is more like, hey, come over to us.
Yeah. You know, it's saying it to his people, like all the cities, to go out to the countryside and start ploughing.
It's more food for people, I guess. You could look at it that way.
Yeah, I suppose. Hundreds of prisoners have escaped in Brazil after their Easter holiday was cancelled.
Oh,
so like low security prisons. They told them like they've got to stay. They can't go out and see their families because of the virus thing. So they all just went fuck it and escaped. There's a video showing hordes of them like running down a beach and a guard yelling behind them, "Come back on Monday."
Like the Fenton video of the guy chasing his dog.
Yeah.
I'll let you go this once if you come back on Monday, please.
Yeah. Fuck
it, let's escape.
Yeah. Oh, we can't go. Well, we're gonna go.
Wow. You gotta stay indoors. Bye.
Yeah. ISIS have told its terrorists to steer clear of Europe because of coronavirus.
Well, they're killing themselves.
They've advised them to postpone attacks on the West and to routinely wash their hands.
Postpone. We'll get round to it later. Meanwhile, all the terrorists just stay indoors. Don't put on any vests just yet.
It's such a weird contradiction of morals, I guess. It's the same thing as when they were encouraging terrorists to recycle plastic bags.
Yeah.
This is we are now plastic free. Like no, we're doing our part to stop the spread of the virus. It's like you'd think they'd encourage it.
Our Semtex is now gluten free.
A man in Kentucky has been arrested for breaking into prison.
Well, this is convenient, I guess. Stay indoors, self-isolate now.
It's that old thing that came up. He was arrested for criminal mischief. I still don't know.
You mischievous bastard.
Yeah, still not got any idea of exactly what that means, but yeah, broke into prison, ended up being locked in prison.
Think if they rub their hands and then touch their face.
Yeah.
I think that's quite
here,
mischievous.
Prick of the week. An arcade owner, like a games arcade, has stocked claw machines with soap, toilet paper, and hand sanitizer.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I think it was for a laugh, to be fair.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I think it was like commentary. Just
all right.
for
Well, prick in a nice way, then.
Yeah, prick in the hate is good category.
Yeah,
I think it's do like the 2 pence. What I don't know what they're called, but like the 2 pence and 10 pence machines. They just have this weird. What was it? Is it? It's a game show now. Tipping Point. Where it's like you've got a row of 10 pieces or 2p pieces on a sliding step of doom.
Oh, it's like a plinko board. Is that what they call it?
Yeah. That it like drops down, that it might knock off some more coins.
Yeah. Like, it's
just
not a
doing
skill.
that with gel.
It's not a skill. There's no skill to that.
It's just a what do they call it? A fruit machine. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Just without the guaranteed payout, I guess.
But yeah, no, it was a claw machine. This one, it's like just desperate families. Like, come on, get it, Dave, get it.
Picking up ooze, just loose gel. I think I've won. I think.
Yeah. And finally, in the lighter side of news, two-legged dog from Ohio, nicknamed Lieutenant Dan, is a finalist to become the next Cadbury Bunny.
Well, you're not a dog. Maybe you're a chocolate rabbit. Okay.
He's competing against a pig, a llama, a duck, a hamster, and a miniature horse.
These battle royale games have gotten a bit far when you're throwing the animal kingdom into it.
Yeah. Oh,
how do you compete against a pig? If you're a two-legged dog.
Know. Oh, where's the fuck is my
They shit fire.
pig fact?
You got the secret weapon.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just so much in that. Having the balls to nickname your dog, to call your dog Lieutenant Dan because he's disabled is great.
And what's Lieutenant Dan thing is like all of his lineage, like his parents, his grandparents, etc., were all killed in wars. So what, he had to go back in time and murder this dog's bloodline? Like, that seems pretty intense for a dog owner, don't you think?
Yeah.
Some people like to dress up their dogs, others like to commit animal genocide. Fair enough.
Something, box of chocolates. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The other thing,
Asian wife.
The other thing that I think we should talk about, because I saw you posting some stuff, is the Arnie updates.
It's the best. Arnold Schwarzenegger is the only person I'll listen to be fair. The only I don't share to Facebook very often, but Schwarzenegger keeps on giving out advice. Gotta listen to the guy.
Yeah.
Stay in and feed your llama. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He's just got like
got
two little miniature donkeys like knocking around in his kitchen. He's feeding them carrots and putting them in headlocks.
Yeah, and he's just like, don't go outside. It's like, it's good advice. Good advice. He even said, I think in the most recent one that I posted, he was like, I see people in cafes, stop it! They're like, put that cookie down! It's like, you can't argue with the man.
And he's in a jacuzzi with a cigar in his backyard.
Yeah. He's doing the world a great service.
Yeah, so. doing God's work.
Well, maybe not God's work, but like definitely like he's the role model of the world.
He's doing better than God's work. God gave everyone a fucking virus.
Always good to have God.
Yeah.
How are we going to do the promos this week? Just turn around rapidly.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, this kind of worked, I think.
Yeah, surprisingly.
Definitely felt different. Definitely felt strange. There was a lot more. My camera's cut out twice now.
Oh, right.
So it'd be interesting to see where that picks up. But yeah, it's going to be as a prototype. I think for the format, it did kind of work. Yeah, it's good. I think it's just good to see that it's an option, and the chances are we'll be doing it again before all this shit's over. Yeah, for 12 months. Oh. Yeah, well, there'll be more to... Like I say, this was... when we literally threw this together, we only decided to do it remotely like an hour or two before we actually started recording. Yeah. So lots of thrown together bits. It might just be an audio version. It might be half Steve, half a picture of my face. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, can play around with the new format, because I still think we'll always prefer to do it in person anyway.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But yeah, while the world is under lockdown, it feels like we should at least wave the flag of reason. Just be like, hey, we can. If Steve and I can not see each other,
yeah,
then so could you and your loved ones. I don't know how that works. But yeah, so I'm at Nick Snip.
I am at Sing It Steve.
We are at Pulling Teeth Pod on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah, and you can email us wisdom@pullingteethpodcast.com. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/pullingteethpodcast, and you can find all the things everywhere at pullingteethpodcast.com.
Yes.
Oh, and follow us on YouTube. We didn't say it again.
Again!
I mean, I suppose maybe it doesn't matter this week because it's not going to look amazing. But yeah, we're on YouTube. Go watch us on YouTube.
Yeah, I need to remind people of that.
Yeah,
but yeah, let us know what you think as well. If this works, if this doesn't work, I imagine we'll have a play around with a few more things anyway. I mean, I've got some recording stuff here.
Yeah,
can do it stood up. Maybe that'll fix it. I need to get a better camera as well for longer form recording.
Yeah,
and get that working. But yeah, I think it worked out all right.
Yeah, no, it worked really well.
Cool.
All right.